Oi, oi, you beautiful human beings out there. Hope everybody's having a good one. I'll tell you what, I've been having a good week this week. Started a new person this week. It was absolutely awesome. I love taking on new people because that means there's somebody else that's working on their mind and looking to get somewhere where they want to be. I love that because it means another win to somebody else over this and learning the way this works. And brings me to my subject, which is, mindfulness and how to use it. And I think it's really important now, especially with the constant humdrum of shit that we got going on out there right now. You think about it, right? If you've got a family, you got your family issues going on, but then we got political stuff going on, as well as different things around the world that I don't even really want to go into because it's just you'll end up just being like this at the end of the damn vlog. So I'm not going to go into that side of it, but I think mindfulness is something that we can bring into our everyday life, and it's really, really needed right now by everybody. And it's a definite way of helping your mind throughout your day because let's face it, you're getting up in the morning, you're checking that phone already, you're getting wrapped up into a whole dialogue with yourself and whatever's going on in that phone, right? You get an email, you get texts, and there you are checking those, and it could be good news, could be bad news, it doesn't really matter. You're not being mindful, you're not being present. And what is mindfulness? What is it exactly? I use it in a number of different ways, and the way I became familiar with mindfulness is I got introduced to Buddhism first, and I wanted to know what that was. So when I started looking into what Buddhism was, I started to see that there was this word kept coming up about mindfulness, and I wanted to know more. So I started to reach into Buddhism and find out what all this was all about and what it meant. And it started to teach me a way of working with my own mind and my own anxiety and depression and anger and rage. You can use this in your every day, but it takes a practice. It's not about stopping your mind. It's not necessarily means that you got to meditate every day because you can use meditation in different ways just with your everyday situations or within your work, or sometimes when you got those humdrum monotonous things that you're doing, you can turn that into a meditation, which brings you into that mindfulness and presence. And it means presence to me. It means keeping your mind within the realms of what is happening right now, right this very second, in fact, because our minds wander. They're wandering all the time. And like I say, if you're getting up in the morning and first thing you're doing is checking that phone, even getting on there to see whether you got I don't know, some thumbs ups or some comments made, or it doesn't matter. As soon as you engage in that phone, you're already not being mindful of anything because now there's a whole different narrative that's going to take over, and it's definitely not going to be present and mindful. So what can you do? What can you do throughout your day to help yourselves be mindful? And, the first thing is we all have a breath, and hopefully you do, but we all have a breath. And the first thing is you can always anchor yourself to your breath, being mindful of it. Don't overthink it. Just be mindful of it. Allow yourself to sit just for a couple of minutes even, and just bring yourself into an area around your nostrils and allow the breath just to happen through your nose, in and out, steadying the breath, slowing it down slightly, and just becoming completely present and aware of what that breath is doing as it goes in through your nostrils, feeling it going up into your sinuses, feel coolness in the back of your throat, being aware of where your tongue is in your mouth at this time, being aware of a coolness that you may be able to feel as it does go up into your sinuses behind your eye sockets. Believe it or not, you can tune into this. And then the awareness of the breath coming back and the carbon dioxide that's moving out and the warmth that feels and the diaphragm movement and there's a lot that you can get connected with when it comes to the breath. And that's your first point. I teach all my guys, be conscious of the breath, be aware of this, be aware of the mechanism of what's happening when you take a breath. Now remember this as well. Every single breath you take is unique. You never breathe the same breath ever in your life. You cannot. There's too many things that you don't even see that you're breathing in that completely change that breath, every single breath. So the moment you're born to the moment you're no longer around in this universe as this vessel, you're never going to breathe the same breath ever. So make it count. Make it count. Make it like you don't want it to leave. You're never going to see it again. So slow it down. Allow that breath to just be there. That's one mindful way. Start with that. People tell me I can't stop my thinking. You're not meant to be stopping your thinking. Your thinking is there for a purpose. Now, one thing that Buddhist monks, you'll hear this, they'll speak about monkey mind or monkey brain. And that's when the reference is to the mind jumping from thought to thought to thought to thought, and it's never going in the right direction, because that thinking is either going to be in a past or in a future. You're not being present, and you're living those moments, whether you're forward. Remember, it don't exist. It does not exist. Either one of them don't exist anymore, apart from here. A past don't exist anymore, and a future sure doesn't exist anymore. We have references to a past. We sure don't have any references to any kind of future. It's a completely unknown, and that's where our fears kick in. We're built, remember, on fight or flight, right? Human beings have that fight or flight, and it's something that you really need to have. It's like, if you're coming up to something that really, it can get you hurt, you want to be able to have that pause and stop and that bit of fear there. Otherwise, you'd be walking off and walking into traffic. It wouldn't be a good idea. But when that fight or flight comes up, sometimes that fight or flight can give us misinformation due to the belief systems and programs that we've been given as we've been growing up in our surroundings, in our environment, of what people tell us, what we see, and coming up with our own perspectives, basically. But it doesn't mean something scary. It just means there's an overreaction of that flight. Or are we going to go forward? And are we going to fight? Again, it's on different people are all going to think differently. But it's what you're going to do. And that's when you can bring that mindfulness in. Because if you get to that moment of that fight or flight, what you're going to do is you're going to react. You're going to react to this. And if you can stop, take a breath, and just letting go and allowing yourself that space, now the mind can think. Now you're in control. Now you're being mindful. You're absolutely being mindful. I watched an interview with a monk once. Can't remember. I watched many, many, many different things, all to do with the mind and Buddhism and Hinduism and you name it. I watch all different kinds of things. But there was a monk, and he was talking about, being present and mindfulness. I think it was on one of the social media platforms. And he said, one way to look at it is putting like a big pair of spectacles on, to where it enlarges things to where you can see. Because we don't see, we react. We're a reactive species. We react. Sometimes reacting can help. Like I say, if you've got a car coming at you and you don't react, it ain't going to be very pleasant, right? We have to have that reaction, but we react to our mind when it's thinking future things and past things. The past things you can work on by being mindful of it. And when you can take that into a guide or a coach or a therapist, you can work on that piece. It gives you information to be able to get yourself into a present moment and to shift those patterns. The going forward part is where you build a new past. You build a new past with what you do today. So it's much better being mindful. It's much better to have a mindful mind. I know that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Mindful mind, right? But it's better to have a mindful mind than to carry on this process that has been going on from a past for many, many, many years. Another thing to keep you present, think about your senses. Yeah, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your touch, your taste. And you can use those. You can use those things to pick out things. So you can say to yourself, okay, what can I smell right now? Even if you've got something that you can use as a scent. I don't think I have it in my pocket. I think it's on my table. But I have a stick that I put natural oils in. It's got a little felt, I guess like a sponge thing that you can insert inside. And you can put natural oils on there and you have a scent. I normally have it in my pocket. It's probably on my table. I normally carry it right in my pocket, but I was probably watching TV, came in here and left it right on the table. But it's a good thing to have around. When you've got something that you can pull your mind to, you're being mindful, you're being present. Taste. I carry Tic Tacs. They're a great little mint that you can throw onto your tongue. It's pulled me out of panic attacks. You can throw that up on your tongue and you can become completely present with it. There's a whole process to it. I'm cutting this down a bit short, but it's something that you can carry with you to pull your mind away from that. Hearing, what can you hear right now? And don't label the sounds. Put your mind in the how is the sound growing? What's the organics of this sound? Meaning, what's the tone? What's the pitch? Where can you hear it? Is it close to you or far away? Is it moving? Right? Sound, connecting with sound. What can you see? So pick a color. Pick a color. Once you pick a color, your brain will focus and then it will start telling your lenses to start looking for that color, right? So what can you see? Look, what kind of, maybe there's a bird that you can say, right, like, where can I see this bird? And look for it. Look for it. Keep visual. You can even do it with car tags. I've done it with car tags before, like looking for a certain ending on a registration and then looking for cars in that year. Doing something like that. Taste, like I said, use the mint. Eyes, using to focus in on things like color. Sound, making sure that you don't label. Now touch. Touch, again, you can carry a stone or something in your pocket. Carry something in your pocket. Because when you can carry something in your pocket, you can draw your mind to it with your fingers. Just by touch and just hold on to it. Little stone, I tell my guys, hey, grab a little pebble or something. If you can grab a little pebble, right, and then you can hold that in your pocket, and then you can, as long as you can put your hands in your pocket, as long as you've got pockets, you can mess around with that. I carry fidget spinners. I've got one right here. Oops, I've got one right here. It's magnetic. You can move it around. I'm normally sitting there doing this with my hand, just moving it around, being conscious of it, spinning it around, doing different shapes with it, spinning around my finger. It's a good thing to have. You can pull your mind to it. Fidget spinners, there's different ones. I've got some bigger ones. My daughter actually bought me an awesome kit for Christmas, and it had all different fidget spinners in there. The next thing is your hearing. Yeah. classical music is really a good one. Music in general is brilliant for the hearing and tuning in, but classical music, I'm speaking from my own experiences here, but if you could put some headphones on and tune into classical music, it's absolutely awesome because again, you want to pick out the sounds that you're hearing, right? The sounds that you're hearing in classical music, so you can pick out an instrument and focus on that. And also you'll get that kind of surround soundy sound with classical music, is a really good one to tune into. Or again, pick out a sound of, say, birds that you can hear or traffic that you can hear. A good one is just been sitting outside, closing your eyes and then just listening to what's out there and just tuning into it without labels. I'm not sure if did I cover everything? Eyes, ears, nose with scent, taste, right? Take taste with the mint, and then sound, right? So think senses. You can use your senses, guys, to bring you into mindfulness and working on the presence. And you can use this in different ways too. Like if you're washing dishes, become present with the hot water, with the dish in your hand. We just do it. We don't even think about it. It's like when I remember I was completely present when I first started driving a stick shift back in England. It's what I learned in. And you're completely present with it. Otherwise, you're going to keep stalling the car or messing up. But as soon as you learn that, it's automatic. The brain goes into automatic mode. And you start doing those things automatically. And you start becoming unpresent. You're not present with it. You're completely not present with it. Your subconscious is doing it. But you're not present with it. And I was just talking to my daughter today about driving a stick and the processes of what to do. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, you get used to it. It all just flows. Then it's the brain automatically just picking up the rhythm and the pattern and the knowing. Like it'll see when you first turn up to a right-hand turn, your brain doesn't know what that right-hand turn is. So it goes into a bit of a panic mode. But if you can slow down your breathing and become present, okay, now look at what's going on. Now, when you automatically start doing this, now the brain shifts from the not knowing to a calm knowing. You start to maneuver and do the processes, and the brain is picking up every single thing from your vision looking over there right down to you shifting gears and everything and making that car move. Once you've done it a few times, those right-hand turns become not a problem at all, right? At first, you're a little bit like, oh, shit, what do I do? Especially if there's a car parked on the other, like, over a little bit, and you're like, oh, I've got to, oh, shit. Or when you park a car, well, that when you first parked a car, especially if you're reverse parking. Now it's all bloody cameras and shit, right? I mean, you can't. That was a thing I made my daughter become present with when I was taking her out. And I remember the first time we got in the car and we sat in the driveway and I took a cloth and I covered the camera, the screen. And I said, start learning without that, and then you become present. These things are starting to simplify things too, guys. And we're not becoming present at all. And it's making this not even have to think. You want to be thinking. Like I said earlier, people say, I can't stop the thinking. Yeah, great. I don't want you to stop the thinking. It's what you do with the thinking, the mindfulness that you can use to work with your thinking. Love each and every one of you. Please, if this is helping you, go and hit that like and subscribe for me. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know some of those things that help you out, that you become present with, or how you taught yourself maybe, or if you want to be present, right? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. I'm always happy to hear from people. It's always a blessing when I get those messages too, saying, hey, that really helped me. It's an absolute blessing that I get to do any of this, and a blessing that I'm even sitting in front of a camera being able to do this. and get these messages out to you guys. So please help. You can really help me out. You can really help out a lot of people out there by getting this message out there and hitting that like, subscribe, and hit me up in the comments. Seriously, I do like to hear from people, even if you give me a good old thumb up. Sweet as a nut. All right. Love each and every one of you guys. Stay that course. Namaste.